startup. And so I think there's this next transformation we need to have. So it was the first transformation of taking a risk, becoming an entrepreneur, okay? And that was a big leap for a lot of people, a lot of cultures, okay? But there's a second leap that's not happening yet, which I think we ourselves, as entrepreneurs, need to think about. I think it's an awesome question, which is, okay, so there's a leap of becoming entrepreneurs and having some scale, but a very small percentage of startups get to a point where they're even 50 million revenue. I would say it's probably 1 out of 1,000 globally get to 50 million. If you look at the real statistics, if you do real market research, entrepreneurs, startups, one man, one woman, garages, running the show, I think it's lucky if it's 1 out of 1,000 get to 50 million revenue. Either sell too early or they fail too early or whatever. Okay, so I think the problem number one right now is laziness. I think people are saying, okay, hey, everybody can do a startup. I'm just going to rock up one morning. I got fired from my job. I'm now an entrepreneur. And I'm going to go to LinkedIn and I'm a co-founder of X. And everybody's like, awesome, you're a co-founder. Fuck yeah, man. You get Twitter followers and Instagram followers and Pinterest followers. And you're wasting your time with investors. You're wasting your time with incubators. You're wasting your time with EU grants and other bullshit. And then, like 6 months later, oh, my startup failed. Well, dude, you did no work. And you start the next startup. So I think the solution to the problem, because I think it should be 85% of startups should succeed, right? It's SaaS, a good software as a service company. So Siebel, that was bought by Oracle, is SaaS. Salesforce is SaaS. Zendesk, Freshdesk in India is SaaS. LivePerson is SaaS. There's all kinds of SaaS. And the success in SaaS is if you can get to 85% renewal rates, 85% of your customers renew. They buy a second time. And as part of the renewal, at least 50% buy more, so as an upsell, you're on the right track. You want to get to a 92%, maybe a 95% renewal rate. Then that's when it turns into really profitable. So that benchmark for SaaS companies, 85% or higher renewal rate. Our expectation should be 85% or more success rate for a startup. The success is you become profitable, you get to at least $10 million revenue. Okay? Now, unfortunately, the thing that's working against this, there was a question you asked about the crowdfunding to get equity versus the VC. For me, a VC is a poison pill. Okay?
That's why I asked.
You don't go and get money. Okay, my approach is you bootstrap. If you're too lazy to make the 200 phone calls a day, if you're too lazy to make the 300 tweets a day, if you're too lazy to participate in LinkedIn groups and write 20 questions and answers a Quora a day, don't fucking do your startup, okay? Don't give up equity. And unfortunately, the VCs, especially in Central Europe and Eastern Europe, and I know all of them, the shit ones and the mediocre ones, there isn't a single good VC in Central Europe and Eastern Europe, except for Giza Ventures. It's an Israeli VC who's been in Warsaw now for 4 years, been around for 25 years, one of the most successful VCs in the world, okay? They invest in technology companies. But unfortunately for every Giza Ventures, there's 100 wannabe VCs, and another 5,000 wannabe angel investors, and another 20,000 accelerator. Man, everybody and their grandmother's got a fucking accelerator. It's basically a coffee shop that they're giving you free office space. Come on, man. So I think the route to get there is A, don't rely on capital. Don't go to the bank and get a loan. Don't max out your credit card like we used to do in Silicon Valley in the 80s and 90s. Do it the old way. The way I live my life the last 3 years, I think, is part of the solution. Okay, the way I live my life is I bootstrap my life. I have a very low fixed costs. I don't buy cars. I don't buy apartments. I travel third class on train, if it's third class on a plane, whatever, second class on an airplane. I blah blah car. When I show up somewhere, I couch surf or just say, hey, can I crash with somebody? And regardless of how much money that comes into me, I bootstrap. Because that allows me to be agile and not be desperate to raise money. So I think the approach, I think there's 3 steps to the solution. A, do the hard work. Pound the phones. Pound the emails. Pound the social media. Old school, man. Old school. themselves done like in the 20s when they're selling Pepsi and Coca-Cola and some of the biggest brands, man. Old school, face-to-face, telephone. Now we got social media. So scale this shit, man. If you don't know how to do it, just make it up. That's how you're gonna learn. Step 2, when in doubt, don't go get money. Don't do microfinancing. I would say even the crowdfunding. At the initial stages, don't do the crowdfunding. For me, that's even lazy. I'm taking initial stage. Okay? And third step, leverage your network. Say, I'm going to be successful. I want to have 85% success rate, which means don't hang out with people who expect 9 out of 10 to fail, or 99 out of 100 to fail. You don't want losers, you want winners. And I think a good analogy for this third step is the Golden State Warriors, my team, okay? Or the Manchester United, which, whatever, I'm not into football, but he loves Manchester United, okay?
It's about because they're soccer.
My San Francisco Giants, the baseball team, okay, or other winning sports franchises in the world, okay? What you see about them, or even back when the Bulls were winning lots of championships in the 80s and 90s, or the LA Lakers, or in the 60s and 70s, the Celtics, okay? The winning teams had great leadership, great team members, great hustle, they did whatever it took to win.
And great culture.
And it's a winning culture. So I think to your point, the last thing I'll say is, it's here. It's saying, no, man, I'm not going to fail. No, I'm not going to hang out with people who say 1 out of 10 should succeed, or 1 out of 100, or 1 out of 1,000. I don't want to talk to those people. They're going to waste my time. They don't expect me to succeed, so I'm not going to take the poison pill for the VC. So that's, I think, the next transformation, and I think to get there, it's going to be hard, because there's way too many entrepreneurs that are faking it, and not enough making it. And I hope that these guys, I think they're making it somewhat, we need to push ourselves and think about this question. Because for me, this question is like,
to me, it's very
very
good question.
profound.
Jurgen.
Just a little, obviously, petrol in the oil, in the fire side.
Yeah.
But in many startup events, or kind of, events like that, you say plenty of startup founders say, do what you love to do, or what you want to live your life. But it sounds relaxed, enjoy, and chill, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really need to,
Reality
work
show.
as the horse to really get.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
dude, this right here, man, the reason I painted this is, man, I live life, I work my fucking ass off, okay? It was a 13-hour bus ride to get from Poznan to here. During the 13 hours, I worked half the time leveraging my network on social media. When I'm hanging, it's an incredible amount of energy required to listen, react. I work harder than anybody I know. But I don't call it work. But the reality is, man, I keep myself physically in shape, mentally in shape. I work my fucking ass off. Nobody gives me anything. Nobody opened any doors for me. So while I say the thing, hang out, okay, the reality is the magic sauce is the hard work. I will always work hard. And if you don't work hard, you can't play hard. And you don't earn the right to succeed in your startup. So that's the reality. You have to work your ass off. You have to think, I'm going to get the gold medal and have people around me that will make me successful. Not a bunch of half-ass, waste my time, promise, and talk to. Pick up the phone, close a deal, get the contract, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. So you're totally right.
A little napalm in this conversation. You define the success for one person. In terms of startup or companies, the success means a bit different. As far as I understand, can you give me one example of a good startup which was successful without poison pill?
Dude, I can give you 1,000. I give you 10,000.
Top 2. Just 2.
I mean, startups that got to let's say $10 million revenue, or even I'd say success in the first $1 million revenue with no investment. I think a good example is a startup in Israel called Apps, APPSE. They're the best technology company at analytics for mobile apps. Okay, they spent the first 18 months of their startup, they took no money.
Just pure bootstrapping.
It's pure bootstrapping, and then they decided once they actually got to success, their initial success, now turn on the steroids, which is, it took a little bit of money. It took like $500,000 investment later. But a startup, to get from a startup to legit, okay, that's the first phase. Take the money once you want to scale, if you want to scale, okay?
But there's also another type.
Or a bank loan.
Exactly, but there's another.
Yeah.
The best, truly best VC capital firms that you have, they don't just provide you money. They hold your hand, they give you mentorship, and the whole thing, the whole package. You need to know what you're about. You need to know what you want to do with your life. Unless you know what you want to do, what you want to get into, and what your vision is in business, which is really rare. I meet people all the time, and they're clueless about what they want to do. No mentorship will help them. They need to really study and work hard.
Apple bootstrapped, Microsoft bootstrapped.
Exactly. Apple
They
was
bootstrapped. Through the beginning, they had 3 co-founders, and one of the co-founders put a little bit of his money. That's bootstrapping.
and they had
A bootstrap is, the definition of bootstrap is, you get the co-founders to get equity, and they put some money in, even if it's personal money, or their credit card, okay, whatever the fuck it takes, and they do the work. So bootstrap is not we're not gonna spend any money at all, and somehow magic's gonna happen, my startup's gonna grow. Okay, what I'm saying is don't give up equity, at least in the first 18 months of your startup. Don't give up to an external investor unless that investor will be working 80 hours a week with you. And they're not an investor, they're a co-founder.
Angel investment is not so poison pill.
No, angel investment is the same bullshit as VC. Unless that person's gonna do the fucking hard work. If they're gonna be doing the phone calling, the cold calling, the social media marketing, the engineering of the product, fuck that. You want doers. I'd rather have 2 doers than 10 half-assed amateurs who are then putting some cash, but guess what? As soon as they give you the cash, they're expecting something from you. And they're not doing the work. You don't need talkers around you, man. Do the work. So bootstrapping for me is do the work, you get, if you need some small loans, you pay it back, you get the revenue, you get to break even if you can. Once you're at break even, if you realize there's a market need, product market fit, then you go for investment. But guess what? If you do it the way I've helped startups do it in my career, what they do is they get to a valuation of $10 million and raise $1 million by delaying by 6 months or a year, instead of having a valuation of $1 million and taking $200,000 and giving too much equity. Do the work. It's a very simple thing. Pick up the telephone. It's very simple, man. Rock up to an event like this, use some hashtags, tweet it out.
But there's another aspect to it. The guys, another said very well about it. Don't have false expectations, okay? Don't look for 1 million opportunities. Just incremental growth, incremental changes, okay? Just do it the right way. Work hard and don't have false expectations. And that's the magic. I think that's the magic happens. Delayed gratification. If you know what I mean. Jurgen, what I mean.
My comment was going to be on that statistic of like 1 in 10 making it. See the person's gone, but I'll say anyway. If you look at the crowdfunding stuff, for instance, we looked at the numbers on that. It's like 15% in some categories, and then 25% as a whole of the ones that make it. So that's a completely different type of thing. It's not startup people. It's every guy. It's kind of like so it might be that it's just a bit of a Pareto thing, 80-20 type of deal. But we know that in the crowdfunding, at least, the reason they fail is because they don't know what to do. They're uneducated as to how the thing works. The same could be then if you look at what Mike How said.
That's good.
It's a good. I try.
Me.
Right. What he said. That entrepreneurship has become. It's going to go kind of counter to what we've been saying in front of the stage the whole day. But entrepreneurship has become like a sexy thing, or like it's a fad in some sense, right? Everyone's now an entrepreneur. But if you listen to Gary Vee, you'll know that the way that he describes it in very heavy terms, in very graphic terms, like it is not for everyone, right? And you have to do the hard work. It's fun. If that hard work is fun to you because you're doing it, you're free, you're doing what you want, that's the fun. The fun isn't just fucking not doing anything.
Right.
It is 8 hours a week kind of shit. You've seen fucking what it's like now.
Isn't it just
But you still enjoy it.
Yeah, but isn't it just that some people are uneducated? Why do some people fail at their jobs? It's just like some people it's 8 out of 10 fail. Maybe those 8 people weren't meant to be in it. Maybe they got into it, they didn't do the research, they didn't understand what they were doing, so
Possible, man.
it doesn't, like you were saying, it doesn't matter, it's 8 out of 10. You find that 1 or 2 people that succeed and you surround yourself with those 1 or 2 people.
And maybe you need the 8 out of 10 because they are the ones that go try the crazy shit sometimes.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
you just need that kind of stuff to happen all the time.
But another aspect is very important. So many people believe in luck. Luck is,
Yeah,
Luck
luck.
is not a strategy.
luck is a great strategy. Okay? There's no luck.
There's a book called Luck is Not a Strategy.
You guys
It's
are not
a great
lottery
sales book.
tickets. There's no
Luck is
luck.
not a strategy.
You make your luck. I came here with no expectations, not to this event, but in general to Vilnius. I met with 2 guys. I thought they were tech guys. They were insulted. And the next one, they said, we're not tech guys. I've been imported from China, now I'm exporting to Hong Kong. Let's do it. Okay, now I'm doing business. My intention had been for 6 months just to help this guy or 2 guys. And now I introduce him to a bunch of other people. They're going to do business together, and they're going to be very successful. And then hopefully somehow he'll be my customer as well, as long as we work together. So you never know, but you have to work hard to establish a relationship. If you heard what I was saying, everything I've earned and I've learned was due to listening to people, paying attention to them, and thinking out the box. Because people, the signs are always there, but how many people pay attention to the signs? You gotta work hard to pay attention to what's happening around you. And you have to be ready to change yourself in a heartbeat, completely change the industry if you have to. If it doesn't work in one place, it doesn't mean anything. You learn from your lesson, you move on. Donatas does several companies, they're all different companies, completely different companies, right? But the idea is the same in general. The approach is the same. And I'm talking about in general philosophy. So maybe you can add.
Well, yeah, in a sense, like, I totally agree with Michael when he said, like, about the VCs and poison pill. The poison pill is because, like, it's sort of a deadline for you. Once you to capital, you get a deadline to, achieve. And when you're, like, trying to find something you want, not to be in a rush, because when you're in a rush, you cannot, observe enough, and you cannot notice things, and you cannot, just sit and ponder and talk with people. You have pressure, too much pressure to do things, to plan. You don't even know what's the plan.
But there's another danger with VC, the worst danger. They call you one day and say, listen, you're not doing so well. You need an adult supervision. And why don't you hire a guy with a suit with experience? He'll know what to do. Guys, if you didn't watch Silicon Valley show, making fun of the whole thing, watch it. Get online any way you can, just watch Silicon Valley. At the end of the 2nd season, the founder is out of the company, and he is the life and blood of the company. Okay, that's how it happens. Just confirming that was what this guy was saying.
So I think just take that and the example of this startup, AppSy. Okay, they were 2 essentially kids, out of the army in Israel. The reason there's a great book called The Startup Nation, although it's a little dusty now. Israel's been the startup nation for decades. Okay, so it's worth a read. It's called The Startup Nation, and Israel has over 8,000 startups. 8 million people per capita, the most startups per capita, the most patents per capita, the most revenue per capita, the most VC funding per capita. We also the most tomatoes in Israel. So I don't know if it's the tomatoes, why our success in startups, but that was a joke.
Dead sea.
Nobody laughed about tomatoes. But AppSy, I think, was a great example because what I did with them, and I just helped them part-time, originally for about 6 months just as a friend. Also Toonimo, Toonimo, another great startup out of Israel that I helped out just before I moved to Poland. And I spent 6 months with them just helping them out, an hour here, 2 hours there. And I said to them, here's how you do some social media marketing, here's how you do some cold calling. Develop the relationships with the investors, because eventually you might need them, and it takes time, so invest in the relationships, okay? So you need to know who they are, you need to know who you are, you update your reports, use a great CRM. I'm a big fan of Salesforce CRM. CRM or Oracle Siebel, and every week show the metrics, measure the metrics. And what they did is co-founders of Apps, they're both engineers, okay, and they both worked in the intelligence unit of Israel. It's the most successful startups in Israel came out of this one intelligence unit to do like counterintelligence and all kinds of cool James Bond type shit, okay? Basically finding terrorists before they come in so you don't get bombed in Israel, okay? It's a sad reality of what's happening in my country, but, you know, they never did a cold call in their life. Their LinkedIn profiles sucked. You know, these were engineers and had no freaking clue. They weren't even cool. They weren't even cool engineers. I mean, some engineers are cool. Other engineers, like, she's cool. Systems engineer, right? Or sales engineer. Some are cool, but the rest, they're not so cool. Okay? They wear sweaters like this guy. You know?
That's cool too.
That's cool because he's not an engineer. So for him, it's cool. But he's kind of an engineer, actually. So what was interesting with AppSy was they started getting on the phone. They said to the investors, wait, patience. Here's some data every week and updating. The VCs were salivating, saliva, right? I want to invest. No, wait. We want to get to the point where we get some revenue, we get some traction, we get our sales process, our marketing process. Now you're going to invest on my terms. You're going to do what I want. You're going to work for me. Okay, so they choose the VC. Tunamo did the same thing, but what they decided was to leverage the US investors. They got a $2.5 million seed investment. That's a lot of money for an Israeli company. In Silicon Valley, that's nothing. $2.5 million seed investment. The same thing. They spent a year, they listened to me. Now, I didn't get paid any money from either one of these, or equity, until after they got the investment. They said, okay, now help us 8 hours a week. And from there, we scaled it. And we went from 2 employees to 20 employees in both scenarios within 3 months, generating a ton of cash. So it's a process where you have to say, I'm going to focus, I need to have a plan, not la land dream, because you mentioned, dude, I mean, it's great to have dreams, but let's be practical. What are you building? What is the pain you're solving? Focus on who you're going to call. Call one market, I don't know, Berlin, or Warsaw, not Lithuania, or, you know, London, well, where in London, or US, specifically New York City. Call a specific market, a specific vertical, some specific people with a specific pitch. And once you have the traction and you got some revenue, then go ask for investment on your terms. Like he said earlier, fire your customer if they're a shit customer. He said the same thing. Say to an investor, they need you, you don't need them. So do the hard work, get to the point where you're scaling, and then scale the ship. If you're not willing to do that, don't become an entrepreneur. There's enough lifestyle CEOs, lifestyle co-founders who say, I've got this PowerPoint, give me some money, then I'm going to hire a co-founder, oh, my engineer sucks, I'm going to fire her, him, oh, my sales guy sucks, I'm going to fire him or her, give me some more money. Next thing you know, a year later, 50% of your fucking company, your VC habit and your angels, and then finally 3 years later, when you're ready to exit, you got zero cash because you've diluted the equity. It's stupid, so jump into the water, but focus, have a plan, and do it the old way. Work with each other. Like here in this room, engineer, kind of project manager / engineer. I'd call you marketing / sales, strategy / marketing. The 4 of you should have a company. I'm serious. The 4 of you. She's already got something. You've got an idea, but you kind of are not sure to jump in. You've got a job that you're not happy in, and who's the 4th guy? And you, dude, fuck the consulting thing and the outsourced software development. Dude, put skin in the game. Jump in and teach them what you know. We'll work together.
It's not just that. Be in touch, because it's not going to happen today. It's going to happen a year from now. You never know. Okay, constantly be involved with people all the time. And we had lunch with Vilnius a couple of days ago. Unfortunately, we just went this. And he asked me, you haven't signed a contract in your life? I said, no. He was shocked. I mean, I haven't signed a supplier, but not with my clientele. Because contracts are shit. It doesn't mean anything, okay? All you mean is your word of honor. When you have that, everything else will flow.
Well, when you get paid also.
Yeah,
Let
but
me get paid that.
it's not, it's the point, that's about, I mean, obviously, it's like 2 + 2 = 4, obviously. But the point is that when you have this constant cash flow, and you have to, from A to B, you gotta get to B as soon as possible with the cash. You need cash to survive. Without oxygen, your business is just a wild dream, a fairy tale, nothing more. And people say, I have a stable business, I have 3 clients, and I've been getting paid for 6 months. You have nothing. You have to have 20 clients, you have to have a bunch of different markets, and you have to diversify kinds of clientele, all kinds of stuff going on, like in this case, for example, all kinds of markets, all kinds of places with PM Screen. And he needs to expand it more and more and more to get more clients, to get more reliability of his company, because if company does not have enough cash flow all the time from different sources, it's not a company. Okay? It's a fragile company. It's not an anti-fragile company. And you have to constantly grow, get more clients, constantly work on that. That's when you get investors begging for you. Not before.
Who's going to create a startup? Who's going to take today and actually be in action and jump in? Like she has, and I keep coming back to you. She has a company, okay, 19 years old, which I was shocked when she told me her age. Given your experience, okay, and what you've done in life and what you're doing now, and you're in action, okay, it was remarkable for me. And yet, the struggle that you share with me of you've got a bunch of tasks you're on your own and the stuff that you don't know what to do with, and you want to find people to trust because you got burned in the past, right? That's what you told me? Yes. Correct? Great. So, you know, why not you work with her, and she's already has something, you already have something, and you've got an idea, and you're fed up of working as a engineer in your current job, okay? Why not do something?
But here's the point to Victoria, right? What you're saying. Victoria, you were at the last conference, okay? Did you put your email address on the board? Or you didn't? Okay? Do you want people to get in touch with you? People who were here and contact you and work together and do something together because you have such fantastic knowledge in software engineering, what you do. You want this enough? If you like, you can put in maybe an email address on the board or some kind of LinkedIn information so people can contact you. If you want to like privacy, you just LinkedIn or Facebook, people get in touch with you. That's important.
Just do it face to face, whatever.
Exactly.
It's like, man, connect, but do something. You know, like for me today, I would love to come back here in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be here probably twice a month, if not more often, okay? My expectation from the crowd here and the other 500 or so people I've met in Vilnius and Kaunas, and I'm constantly gluing you guys to each other, okay? And my expectation is when I'm back in about 2 weeks and doing all these Skype calls and interactions in the next 2 weeks, is I want to see a fucking result. Not a plan, not a discussion. What are you doing? How much code did you write for your own startup? How many calls did some of the people here help you make for your startup? You know, what are you doing to get out of your comfort zone to actually help the community and not just live a cush, you know, comfortable lifestyle? I'm serious, dude. We talked last night over lunch on Search Node, and man, they can be making so much money creating their own market, at least disrupting the existing market, but you're playing it safe. You know, so it's a challenge. You don't have to answer it. Dude, I don't even know your name. What's your name?
Kestutis.
Kestutis? Great.
Yes.
What are you about? Are you an engineer? Are you an academic?
Programming.
Great. Back end, front end?
Both.
Okay, so which one do you prefer?
Actually, I don't prefer.
So you're good at both. You like both?
Yeah, because it's code executes on server or
Okay.
on
Okay.
client
And
computer.
do you work
so
full
it's,
time? Are you a consultant?
I run a startup.
You have your own startup?
Yes.
Great. Are you hiring? Or do you need co-founders, or do you need help?
Maybe.
Every startup needs help. What kind of help do you need?
I tell you what, why don't you guys talk about it once
Why don't you talk one-on-one very later? Let me wrap up before we go. Any other questions?
I just want to have a remark. Yesterday I mentioned to Michael that for me, maybe for other people also, startups and bar camps have this negative connotation. And